1, 2, check 1, 2. Lesson 107, using percents to name a part of a group. Percent is a word that means out of 100. If we read that 50% of all Americans drive cars, we understand that 50 out of every 100 Americans drive cars. Likewise, the statement 10% of the population is left-handed means that 10 out of every 100 people are left-handed, which is interesting because we have, I think, 30% of our class is left-handed. When we say percent, we speak as though we are only talking about a group of 100. However, we may say percent even when there are more than or less than a group of 100. Like fractions, percents name parts of a whole. We have used fraction manipulatives to learn that what percent is equivalent to some fractions. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to find percents for other fractions by renaming the fraction with a denominator of 100. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's still recording. Okay, well, I don't know where I left off, but so 1% equals 1 out of 100. 50% equals 50 out of 100. 100% equals 100 out of 100. And 125% equals 125 out of 100, which you notice that is more than 100 percent. Obviously, it's 125%. So that means that, like, it's guaranteed and also some more, right? So, example 1. If 8 of the 20 students are boys, what percent of the students are boys? If we write the number of boys over the total number of students in the group, we get 8 over 20. All right? If we multiply this fraction for a name of 1, so that the denominator becomes 100, the numerator will be a percent. So what do we multiply this fraction by? Remember, a fraction equal to 1, so the same on the top and the same numerator as denominator. So we want to get 20 equal to 100. So what do you multiply 20 by to get to 100? 5. And whatever we multiply the bottom by, we have to multiply the top by. So this 5/5 is equal to 100. So we will see that 8 out of 20 is equal to 40 out of 100. So that means, 40 boys and 100 students total. So that would mean 40% are boys. Does that make sense that you multiply 20 by 5 to get to 100 because a percent has to be over 100. So you can think of it to remember that a percent is over 100. Think of the number 100, so you'd have the 1 and then the 2 zeros in this little fraction bar guy. There were 400 beads in all. If 60 beads were red, what percent of the beads were red? So this is the opposite. We have a fraction of 60 beads and 400 total, but we know for percentages we have to get it as 100 as the denominator and not 400. So we have to divide. What do we divide 400 by to get to 100? 4. And whatever we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom because this fraction has to equal 1. So we do 60 divided by 4, and we would get 15 red beads out divided and 100 total. So it would be what percent of the beads were red? 15% were red. Okay, do not forget your units. Beads were red beads. Okay, my marker's running out here, but I hope you can see it. Example 3. The team won 2/3 of its games. Find the percent of games the team won. So this one, we're going to have to do a little bit differently than we've done something else. So first, we're going to multiply 2/3 by 100. Okay, so 2/3 times 100%. Ooh, that's 10. 100% equals 200% over 3. Okay. Then we divide 200% by 3 and write the quotient as a mixed number. So we're going to do 200% divided by 3 to figure this out. And this is another reason why it's important to just have some memorized. So if we have memorized 1/3 is 33.3%, then we could know this. But if you don't have it memorized, then this is the long way to do it. So you are going to be dividing this. 3 can go into 26 times, and you have 18, and then you bring down a 0, and you have 2, bring down a 0, 20, and then you have 18 again, and then you have 2. So it would be, and then this is the numerator, and it goes up to be a remainder. But since it's a fraction, so this is the denominator, this is the numerator, your answer would be 66 2/3% 1, okay, of the games. Lesson practice A. If 120 of the 200 students were girls, then what % of the students were girls? We'll go over more on example 3 in class. B. If 10 of the 500 apples were green, what % of the apples were green? Whoopsies. So in this one, you have to make the denominator 100. So how are you going to get this 200 to be 100? And whatever you do to that, you're also going to do to this, okay? Because this is the denominator and this is the numerator. All right, at this point in time, your secret message, excuse me, is to write this shape up in the upper right-hand corner of your paper. And C, 60 out of 300 is equal to what out of 100? So whatever you do to get 300 to 100, you're going to have to do to get 60 to the 60 as well. D, 48 out of 200 is what %? And E, 30 out of 50 is what %? You guys have a great day, and I will see you later.